Welcome back to the British Masters Championship preview series. And this time you're getting two for the price of one because we have special guests, Kathy Upton and Lorraine Crawford, who are joining us. How are you today, Kathy and Lorraine?
Grand, yeah. Just a bit anxious about the interview, but other than that,
don't be anxious because I'm very polite. For example, it would be very rude of me, Kathy, to ask how old you are and which age group you're in. So what I would like to ask is, how old is your sister?
Well, 60 plus.
Both 63.
So you're in the 60 plus category.
Yes.
And if that hasn't given away, it's not just that your sisters, but your twin sisters,
Friends as well, yeah.
which means there is no escape. There's not even that 1 year of respite where maybe
No,
one goes into the
absolutely.
next category.
Yeah. No,
You are.
no.
So I guess I'll throw it out there straight away. Normally I start with how did you get into CrossFit and how did you find the British Masters Championships and things like that. I'll get to that, but we've got to obviously address the elephant in the room. What is the level and degree of sibling rivalry that you two have and have to face?
I'll let you go first.
For me, I find my sister something to aspire to, because I don't stop it, because I'm not as good as she is. And so I know she's better than me, so it's like that's my aim, if you see what I mean. So we always kind of push each other on, especially competitions and things. It's not a case of, oh my God, she beat me. It's, oh yes, you did it. It's that. So I wouldn't say there was horrible rivalry in the sense that I want to get there, if that makes any sense.
It's more of a sort of a helpful.
Yeah.
So I was judging Lorraine in the CrossFit Games, the first part, and I was just sort of coaching her through some of I think
She shouts.
coaching her through the wall walks and the help to improve and get on. So it's a good rivalry.
Yeah.
Let's say.
A good rivalry, a helpful rivalry. That's what we like to hear.
Encouraging.
And that doesn't surprise me. From what I've heard, speaking to the various Masters athletes that have got involved in the British Masters Championships, they all talk about the atmosphere and how encouraging it is and how you push each other forward. And I guess you've just got that on an even more personal level, which is great.
Yeah.
So I suppose I will go back then and ask my usual opening questions that are, I guess I should even ask which one of you found it first, but how did you get into CrossFit?
There's a CrossFit about a few years ago now. I saw on Facebook some guy who I didn't know talking, sort of showing all these movements and talking about CrossFit. And then my son joined the gym in Dundee, and at that time I was having my first ever PT sessions, and I was doing lots of lifting. And I thought, what am I doing lifting for? What am I doing these movements for? And CrossFit was a way of using that, if you see what I mean. So because after I don't think there's any point in learning to do with it and learning to do it and have nothing to do it with, if you see what I mean. So CrossFit sort of gave me an outlet for the new things I was learning. So that's how I got into it initially.
That's really interesting. So if I've understood correctly, it's that you basically had you were acquiring a set of skills that you just had no use for.
no, but just
and so you found a way.
What am I doing it for?
That's really clever, because it's kind of it's almost the reverse of the functional fitness, where it's sort of here's some movements you learn in the gym that you can go out and use in daily life, and you were more like, well, I've learned these cool movements that I'd like to use in the gym. Where can I do that? And CrossFit was an outlet. That's really interesting. How did you rope Lorraine into it?
That was through I did functional fitness to start with, and it was through a guy who sadly passed away, called Jason Alexander, and he had his own little gym, and he didn't like the regular kind of gym sessions that you have at the bigger gyms, and I like that. I got into all these different movements which I really enjoyed, and I found that they worked for me as well. I don't know if it was an age thing, I don't know, they just worked. And then unfortunately his business kind of closed down, and I thought, well, what can I do now? And Kathy, what she'd always said, come to CrossFit. So that's what happened, and I guess the rest is history.
Wow. And are you both in? I mean, assuming the fact that you're competing, you both enjoy CrossFit. It's a big part of your life.
Much. Yeah.
Were you, because you've both kind of mentioned that you were doing, functional fitness or PT sessions and stuff before.
Yeah.
So have you historically been into fitness, into keeping fit, or is that something that came along later in life?
I think historically,
always done something. I used to run a lot.
Used to do triathlons, all this kind
used
of
to
stuff.
do all the RPM type things, the spin, the body combat, or the body attack, all that kind of thing. And then you kind of get bored with those because it's all the same, really, just in a different song.
And somebody's out there and you just follow them and you think.
And then did cycling, and then I suppose CrossFit gives you that, it's never the same, that variety that keeps you going, keeps you thinking, keeps you, oh gosh, a new movement, I need to learn that now. It keeps your brain going, I suppose, and keeps your body going as well.
And the other thing is, as you probably know with CrossFit, is that one movement enhances another. But you don't realise that at the time until you think, oh, I'm getting better at this. I wonder why that is. And you think, oh yeah, that's what it was. So
yeah, that happens all the time. Is it? If you'll do like a set, kind of a long series of doing a certain movement, and then you'll go back to something that you haven't done in ages, and you're like, how is this easier than ever before? I haven't done this. It doesn't make sense. That carryover is brilliant, isn't it? So it is interesting because I speaking to you, I think we're more similar than I'd like to admit, because I'm right with you on kind of how bored I get doing just normal fitness, and just the constant variety within CrossFit, and that constant there's always something new to learn, to improve. And I mean, when Dave Castro releases new movements every other games, so there's always something to
Dave Castro
even there. So that's CrossFit in general, which I think, especially when you're speaking to masters athletes and when we're talking about longevity and health, that is key. But we've got to ask about competition as well, because you've been involved with the British Masters Championships before.
Yeah.
How did that come about? How did you hear about it? How did you get involved? How did it go?
Well, for me, the only thing in the UK for our age group was raising the bar.
That's it.
And then I don't even know where I saw it. I think it came up on Facebook, British Masters.
But Mandy was underneath her somehow.
No, didn't know Mandy at that point.
No, she said
no, didn't know then. And no, we did, because she came to raising the bar. My apologies.
Now this is why we wanted to get the two of you on at the same time.
It's the age, though, the dementia.
So it must have been somehow through Mandy that it came up on Facebook. Yeah. And I saw the age groups, and I thought, I'm going to do that, because, and one, I wanted to do it, and two, I thought we need to support these things, because we are so far behind in the UK, particularly when you look at the results for the CrossFit Games. All the people in the top 10, 20, although we had one British girl there, I can't remember her name, but she was amazing. And it's all Americans. All Americans, but when you look at competitions, you see them sometimes post, they're all over America, whereas in UK at the moment there is only, for us, the raising the bar or British Masters. I mean, I've done I did scales, first moves, everything, because the bigger movements were too much for me. I think I've done a couple of others with friends, but for our age group, it was a competition that we could do at our level, if you like. I think there's another one, but I can't remember what that is.
Yeah, because I think, if you want to just compete, there are competitions you can go to, and you can do the scaled version, or they might even say, oh, we have a masters category. It's kind of over there. Go and have fun over there, sort of thing.
Absolutely, yeah.
But the idea of a competition that is tailor-made for you, and it's like, well, this is the RX movement standard. This is the top, because it's designed specifically for your age group. It's very different, isn't it? And it's got to make you feel good and valued. But I really like what you said as well about supporting. If you want more of these competitions,
you have to support.
You've got to show up, right?
Absolutely. I think even in the SID allowed us in 2 years ago. And again, for the reason for doing that was if we don't do it, they'll not invite us again. Whether they will or not, I don't know. But
I think a lot of people enjoyed that competition because
the spectators really enjoyed watching the Masters.
Because it was like, think, well, actually, I can go and do this. It wasn't like the top athletes. It was normal people with normal jobs doing this competition. And they were, they even said, oh, gosh, I hope I'm still doing it when I get to your age.
A few of them came up to us. We had quite a lot of feedback saying they preferred watching our competition because it was more real to them, if you like, rather than watching people like it wasn't Rich Froning, it was Matt Fraser and his group.
Yeah.
Even though they Rich Froning doing their competition, they were there as well.
Yeah, I think it's the difference between, you're watching your Matt Frasers, your Rich Fronings is incredibly kind of inspiring in the sense of, well, just look what the human body in peak physical fitness is able to accomplish. Not my human body, but the human body. Whereas when you watch the Masters or the teens or just even the kind of the local box throwdowns, it's just a lot more real. You think, well, actually, if I did put in that little bit more effort, or if I, maybe tidy up my diet a little bit, that is not a million miles away from what I could potentially achieve. And it gives you a bit more motivation to keep going. And I think especially with the Masters, because it is comforting to think, oh, there's not a, I don't have a time cap on when I'm going to have to stop doing CrossFit because I'm going to be too
even
old.
more now because there's another age group at it.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. Yeah.
So you've even got something to look forward to.
I think what I like about, just briefly go back to CrossFit is that it's, I don't care what anybody says, CrossFit is any age, any ability. We've got a girl, and she won't mind me saying this, who's a bit on the large side. And she comes to CrossFit and she loves it. She won't.
I know.
She absolutely loves it, and she's doing really well. And then we've got Maureen, who's 75.
Yeah, she does
PT, but do you know what? She still does it. She did the Open, didn't she?
She did. Yeah, she did scale the Open, and she.
So any age, any ability.
Yeah.
Keeps you young.
Keeps you young. It keeps you young, apart from on that piece of paper where you have to submit to work out which age group you're allowed to compete in.
Really?
But apart from that, it does keep you young.
The ages, and yours is right down
One more to go, guys. Okay.
But it's absolutely true. A friend of mine said about CrossFit, we were comparing CrossFit to like playing rugby or football or something like that. And he's somebody who said he played it at school, but historically was always on the bench. It was like the thing he liked about CrossFit is in CrossFit, nobody starts on the bench. There's a scaled version for you, or you can adapt it to, and with a good coach and or good understanding, you can always find a scale that allows you, no matter your ability, to get involved. The other thing about CrossFit is obviously the community, and you've kind of hinted at this already, but you've been involved in these competitions in the past. What would you say about the community you found then particularly within the Masters categories?
Second to none, I would say that everybody's really supportive of each other,
very encouraging.
You see these people kind of, I've seen over the past few years, and it's, oh, hi, how are you? Oh, you're doing it again, and all this kind of. We even stayed with two girls that we've only met through the Masters, and we had to share accommodation with them. That got on like a house on fire, but that seems to be the thing. Everybody gets on really well, and like you say, they encourage each other and just there for each other, and it's just nice.
So we've got to talk about this year then, because I guess
We're in.
You're in. So have you actually signed up already?
Yes.
Good, because the last couple of interviews I've done, people have said to me, I haven't signed up yet. I will sign up, but I haven't done it yet. And I've even had people sending me after the fact pictures. Look, I have signed up, but you've already signed up.
We've done it, yeah.
So we've got the online component initially, and then top 6 are going to be going to Southampton.
There's only 5 of us in our group.
There's only 5 of you in your group.
So far.
But there's some really good ladies out there. They should, like really good ones. They should really sign up.
Yeah, well,
in our age group.
you'd say at least one of them should sign up. So you've got 6.
Yes.
And then maybe one not so good one can sign up. So you've got 7, but you know
They've
you're still
got
in
me,
that top
I'm
6.
the not so good.
I guess normally I kind of ask, what are you hoping for? Are you aiming for that podium spot? Are you, what kind of goals have you got? But I'd also quite like to ask, how do you feel about kind of finally getting to go again to an in-person competition and see these people? Because I imagine you've not seen many of the ladies that
really,
you know for a while now.
Yeah.
For me, when we went to Sid, the pressure was on myself. I must put it on myself. Was unbelievable. It was just, I thought, the last day, just all of a sudden I relaxed and got into it and really, really enjoyed it. But for the first 2 days, couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. It was just awful. And I think it was because there was another lady there, Pam Fawcett, who's a brilliant athlete, and she just got under. I just got this. Oh my God, I'm going to get this, and the anxiety and the stress of that, because she's very, very good, was, I found really difficult to cope with. But on the last day, I thought, oh, this is it now. I'll just do what I can. So having felt that, you always feel a wee bit that anxiety, but that was beyond what I'd ever thought I'd feel. And also it's a massive arena, which I hadn't realised how big it was until we got there. So I think for me now, I'm just going to go and enjoy it. I always say that, but that's my goal, is to enjoy it.
I'm going to enjoy it. No pressure. And then it's 3, 2, 1, go. And suddenly, forget that, I'm out to win. Yeah. But I like that you feel like you've maybe gone through that extreme pressure that now anything else is. I felt a little bit that way by the fact that we had the Open just before gyms reopened.
I know.
And I'll be honest, I hadn't really trained very hard during the lockdown. But just not all of us are as well prepared as you, Kathy. But
that was a lockdown present to myself.
But I was able to get access to everything I needed to do the Open RX with the equipment. And it just meant when the gym reopened and I went back in and started doing these CrossFit workouts, they were not as bad as the Open workouts. And it was just like, it's almost like killing myself in the Open just meant everything else felt a little bit nicer.
Yeah.
And it's a similar thing, right? You've gone through this really grueling kind of pressure on yourself, massive arena, lots of spectators. This will be nice and comfortable. This will be like going home.
Yes, I hope so. I didn't realise that we were on worldwide television.
Yes.
Did not know that. And I'm screaming at my sister to get her up a rope. Literally screaming at her, don't you dare come down, don't you dare come down.
My grip went, and I just thought, when your grip goes, that's it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it is, yeah.
It's out there now.
For the whole world to see. Brilliant.
In the wobbles.
Well, I'll speak to Emma. I'll see if we can get this one broadcast worldwide as well. I'm not sure how feasible that will be, but if we can do it, great. Just for that little extra bump of pressure. What about you, Lorraine? Any goals that you've got set out? Any feelings about this upcoming competition?
I just want to be able to get through it, because I had a bit of a car accident just before Christmas. So I've been kind of nothing. It was just somebody rear-ended my car. So I had a neck, hip, usual stuff. And so I've been kind of dealing with that. So I'm hoping that I can come back. I mean, I've RX'd it. Why? I don't know. But I thought pressure. So yeah, just to be able to do the workouts, get them finished, get them done. And who knows? You never know.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe you'll beat Kathy. There's always the hope, right?
Watch out, sis.
It must be really. I just think it must be. It must be tricky because we're all different, right? That's what we usually say, and we're like, well, we're all different, and we're not the same. So of course I can't do what you can do. That excuse gets watered down a little bit when you're twins, right? It's a bit harder to be like, it's kind of, well, if I had your genetics, maybe I would be able to do it. I mean, you do have my genetics. What's your problem? Well, It has been an absolute pleasure speaking to you today. I'm really looking forward to. Unless I don't want to say unless, we hope there will be a massive influx of people signing up.
Yeah, we're all at the folk in the gym because there's a few that would like to, that keeps, oh yeah, that's really good, so we'll do it. Yeah.
But as it stands at the moment, there's a good chance I'll see you in Southampton. So
at the moment, yeah, I'm going to be there anyway. If Kathy gets through, I'll go down with her. So
I only need one of you to hit top 6. Okay, great. Well, I look
and
forward
to
see
everybody else.
Yes. Yeah, you'll be there cheering them on, making sure you can hold the camera for the worldwide broadcast, and then make sure it stays focused on Kathy the whole time.
It's jumping up and down with it.
Yeah, we'll be hired and fired in the same day, but it'll be all right. Well, it's been absolutely lovely speaking to you. I look forward to seeing you in Southampton. Thank you for sharing your experience of the Masters Championships. As people have heard, it's a division that there's still some spaces in. So if you haven't signed up yet and you're on the fence, get in there so that you can go head-to-head.
Continue our push for FFD to get them in.
There's another girl that was there with us. She was very good too. Said she should maybe do it.
Yeah, you've got to name and shame them. You've got to start tagging them in.
Absolutely.
All the pressure. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you everyone for watching this, and hopefully you've liked the video, shared it around with some of your friends that maybe fit into these divisions. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can come back and see the next couple of Masters athletes that we'll be interviewing. Thank you once again to Kathy and Lorraine, and we'll see you all next time.